And we begin with good day, sir.
Geeks come in all shapes and sizes, and that they come into all kinds of things.
I was thinking more about the Satanic Panic.
By the scholar Gary Gygax.
Well, wait, hold on.
I said good day, sir. Not defending Roman slavery by any stretch,
but God, that's bad.
Let them vote. Fuck off.
When historians, and especially British historians, want to get cute.
Oh, it's in there.
Okay.
It is not worth the journey. This is a Geek History of Time,
where we connect nerdery to the real world. I'm Ed Blaylock. I'm a 7th grade world history teacher here in Northern California with a 2-year-old son. I teach one section of English where I try to beat proper grammar and writing style into the heads of 7th graders. It's a thankless task. Who are you?
I'm Damian Harmony. I'm a high school Latin teacher up here in Northern California, and for one period a day, I also teach world history kids about world history. So I kind of take the baton from you and run with it when they're 3 years older and have remembered everything. I'm also the parent of 2 children.
Your faith, your childish faith is inspiring. Thank you.
No, it's naivete. Whatever. You have alcohol. I have hope. But I also have a 7.5-year-old, almost an 8-year-old, and a 10-year-old whom I'm raising to be good little geeks. So that's me.
All right.
And if this is their first episode, first off, they should back up by about 3 episodes so they get to the beginning of what you're about to tell us.
Of what we're talking about, because we've spent an awful lot of time talking about what an almighty genius Robert E. Howard was.
Yes.
In the king sense of having an almighty big knife. And also we've spent at least a couple of episodes now giving you plenty of time to exercise your hate boner for Ronald Reagan.
I'm still stroking. It's good. I'm going for the slow burn. So
yeah, it's a worthy thing in and of itself.
Thank you. But also Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, indeed. So, but when we left off,
yes,
we had actually just kind of gotten to the point where I'd actually started talking about the movie Conan the Barbarian, in 1982,
right?
Released, filming in 81, which is of course at basically the same time that Reagan got inaugurated, and of course it was being filmed in the immediate wake of the Reagan campaign for the presidency. And we've talked a little bit about John Milius, only a little bit, but we've talked tellingly about what his influences were, kind of where he was coming from,
how he was kind of a standout amongst his peers too.
Well, yeah.
In that he would, like, all of them kind of had the same willingness and glee in abusing their castes. In what they call the auteur philosophy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was politically very different than they.
Oh yeah, because and now we're going to get into analyzing some of that stuff.
Good.
Because we left off, like in the immediate moments before we left off last time. I was kind of finishing up with a kind of straight comparison between who Conan and the other characters were in the books, in the stories that were actually written by Howard, and who they wind up being, what they wind up representing in Milius's version of the story. And one of the things I want to go back and I want to hit on this right now at the beginning, just so it's there, kind of at the forefront as we go forward, is that Howard wrote really extensively to all of the members of the Lovecraft circle, but especially Lovecraft, who is his bestie, about the conflict and the dichotomy between barbarian virtue and civilized decadence and corruption.
Yes, and as we pointed out last time, that was very much a regional thing because of where he was living.
Yeah,
and that civilization is corruption.
Yeah, because he had seen the little West Texas town where he'd grown up turn into an overcrowded, bustling place where a whole bunch of business types showed up with the oil boom and were making money off of the labor of a bunch of rough characters who were working as roughnecks on the oil rigs. And, the background of that whole region had been built on conflict with the Native American tribes.
Right.
And Native American, and there had been massacres of Native Americans, massacres of settlers by Native Americans.
And let's not forget it's on stolen Mexican territory.
And the
very
whole thing
inception was
Texas
invaded.
Well, yeah, and the whole thing was a was a very Gygaxian colonist kind of freehold thing. Move to Mexico, take your slaves with you, and settle because the Mexican government wants you to. Well, now that we're here, we don't want to be Mexican anymore.
Right.
We're
a republic,
and that whole. We're a republic now. Slave owning republic. Let's talk about the moral implications of that for a moment, assholes. But anyway, and now we're going to be part of the Confederacy, which is like the fuck. Anyway, sorry. We're getting off the subject. So what we have then going on there is, like you say, it's a very regional thing because of course Lovecraft was descended from. I'd be surprised to find out that Lovecraft wasn't in fact a member of the Mayflower Society himself. Sure. I do a lot of direct research into Lovecraft specifically, but he's coming from New England, which was settled by the Puritans, and their whole ethos was at the time of settling that was we're going to build God's city out of the wilderness, and the forest is darkness, the forest is chaos.
We're going to push that back.
And so the two of them have. Yeah, we're going to push that back. We're going to inflict civilization on the world. They wouldn't have used the word inflict. That's just me editorializing. But we're going to bring.
Would you use that word? Were they Catholic settlers?
Yes.
Okay. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm just going to say my intellectual honesty would force me to do that. My prejudice against them as like massive Calvinists maybe adds to the asperity of my language in other ways.
Sure.
But I think the verb is apt no matter who you're talking about. I think there's certainly there can be debate about how much of the Black legend is anti-Catholic propaganda.
Sure.
There cannot really be debate about the fact that the conquistadors inflicted civilization on every place they landed to.
Right.
So, and a European vision of civilization, because of course, when they got to Mexico and they ran into the Aztecs, they saw a civilization, but it wasn't civilization they recognized as civilized.
Sure.
Because they were performing human sacrifice in terrifically sanguinary kind of ways, and their model of civilization in a whole bunch of other ways was not compatible to what the Spanish looked at as being, we're civilized and you're all a bunch of savages who've somehow managed to build a sophisticated economy and a massive capital city that's larger than Rome is right now, but that doesn't mean you're civilized.
Right. And that sanguiniste kind of impact we've also talked about in my magnum opus, the wrestling episode where we talked about Puerto Rican wrestling and lucha wrestling and stuff like that.
Luchador. So anyway, but back to Howard. His primary conflict was this idea that civilization was a weakening force, that it was through the vital struggle of an individual against outside forces that you got virtue and strength. And meanwhile, what I brought up in the comparison between the books and Milius's work, in Milius's Hyboria, what we see aesthetically on the screen is everybody's a barbarian.
Right.
And so Milius doesn't see the conflict as being between civilization and barbarism. He sees it as individual vitality versus collective malaise. And that's where we get to
that's
Nietzsche
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's totally Reagan, and it's all because he's got, you have a hate hard on for Reagan. He has just a straight up regular hard on. Well, not really straight, but he has a hard on.
Certainly leans right. Yeah.
For Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Well, I mean straight, orientation.
Gotcha.
But anyway, but he has just a massive throbbing erection for Nietzsche.
Sure.
The whole time he's doing it. Because again, he opens the film. The very first thing that passes across the screen is that which does not kill us makes us stronger. For Nietzsche,
which is the dumbest thing that anybody has ever grabbed from Nietzsche. Because
like if you're gonna take anything from Nietzsche's work, that's the Cliff's Notes that get taken down by the guy who gets an F on the final exam.
Right.
Right.
It sounds cool. It looks cool on a tattoo, but you can literally poke a hole in it as soon as someone gets pneumonia. It's like,
one.
Yeah.
But there you got to go getting all scientific about it. But to a 12 or a 13-year-old who's who I was when I watched this movie 100 times on VHS.
Oh yeah.
It sounds really profound. It's like, oh yeah, man, oh that's badass.
I'm down for that. Yeah.
Now that I'm in my 40s and I've gotten a little more mileage under my belt, I'm like, you know what? There have been plenty of opportunities that I've had in my life where, yes, what did not kill me made me stronger. My divorce being, primary example.
Sure.
But there's also been plenty of shit I've survived that, like,
I'm definitely weaker for it.
Yeah, maybe not weaker is the right word, but I didn't gain any strength out of it. I gained a bunch of fucked up coping mechanisms, like
right.
Strength or weakness, whatever, but like I now, my wife and I occasionally play find the trigger. Like, okay, this conversation is now, hitting me in a place where, I need to think real hard about, where my emotional reaction is coming from. Give me a minute. Yeah. And so, no, that doesn't always work that way. Crypto fascist asshole. And so,
speaking of crypto fascists, I just want to, and forgive me, I'm stepping on your thunder here. But one guy who absolutely loved and adored Nietzsche was Adolf Hitler.
Oh yeah.
He adopted the Ubermensch, the Superman, all this kind of stuff. And Nietzsche almost absolutely would have hated the shit out of Hitler. Like, he would have looked down on him in a way that, like,
because he was an intellectual midget.
Yes. I mean, he would have considered him one of the chattering dwarves.
Yeah, well, and again, intellectual midget, chattering dwarf. Hey, got it in one. Thank you.
But like, it's so funny to me that the guy who fanboyed the most was just completely would have been looked down on completely by the guy he was fanboying on. Although he did that with Mussolini too. Like, he was so stoked to get to see Mussolini, and Mussolini is like, I don't want to talk to this fucking guy. And like put him off for almost a year.
But the only reason he ultimately did wind up talking to him was because, the Germans are really good at building shit.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Hitler was blessed with the German army. Mussolini was cursed with the Italian army. Like, that's Yeah. Okay.
And on a complete side note from all of that, that if you as an aviation nut by way of being the son of an aviator,
right?
If you ever look at any of the warplane designs that the Italians came up with, they're absolutely gorgeous. Oh. The thing is, the Italian Air Force had aircraft, because we're talking about being cursed with the Italian army. I think it's worth noting that in terms of the technology they had available, at least for their Air Force, the aircraft they built were fucking beautiful.
Were they?
Like think of the best high performance, gorgeous Italian sports car you could think of.
Okay, and then put it in the air.
Put wings on it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was their beautiful pieces of machinery.
That explains the brand name Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That's clearly Italian.
Yes.
Chitty
Chitty Bang Bang. Yeah. Of course. Why is that? What's the minute mark?
Now? 13 and a half.
Yeah. All right. Okay. You're in the zone. You're in the groove. But the thing is, the problem was they built them the same way they built all of those supercars, which is by hand, one at a time.
So they had four really cool aircraft.
So they had like, a dozen really great aircraft, and the Germans had like, every Messerschmitt like there was, the Focke-Wulf 190, they had, 10,000 of the bloody things, which, by the way, is also a pretty good high performance airplane. But, anyway, getting off the subject again. But talking about the analysis of what we're looking at, Milius's whole axis.
Yes.
On looking at these stories was he didn't twig to, again, civilization versus barbarism. He twigged to individual will.
Okay.
And
that makes sense,
so in the late
again, coming out of the late 70s in film school.
Yes. And so, in that time period, we were looking at the development of a movie about a rugged, amoral, driven individual who ultimately overthrows a dictator who rules his followers through sorcery and unholy charisma.
Right.
Okay. Those followers, we're talking about the cult of Set, are used to subvert existing power structures and grant greater power and more followers to the cult's leadership. Okay. The cult leader promises his followers paradise at the cost of individual will.
This is sounding like he's going off against the SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. It really.
I hadn't thought of that, but there's
given the Reagan connection and how Reagan
and union busting. Yeah, it's true.
So, oh wow.
But what I was looking at in that is, we're talking about a single leader at the top of what is clearly a hierarchical structure, promising a utopia at the cost of individual freedom of will.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Which is clearly, I mean, based on the way we were raised to look at them, that's an anti-Soviet kind of allegory.
That's true. That was not where I was going, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay, I want to hear where you were going.
Cults are huge from the late 60s to the early 70s. So that's just baked into the culture, and both left and right. But like ultimately, it is a promise to liberate people from the strictures of individualism and the failure that you can run into. And you just have to sacrifice all of your, somebody else gets to make the decisions for you. And it's really popular through the 70s. I mean, we can name a number of cults through the 70s that did horrible, horrible shit. And so that would have been in the culture at the time. That would have been a part of it all.
Well, yeah, and we talked about that briefly in the last episode, talking about how, the cult of Set in the movie is a cult.
Right.
Whereas in the books, it's the state religion of Stygia. It's just a thing. So our hero, continuing our analysis, our hero in the film is a superlative physical specimen.
Yes.
Who defeats the cult leader through sheer determination, bloody-mindedness, and raw physical prowess.
I would borrow from Nietzsche here and say through force of will.
Yes.
Yeah. Through the will to power, actually.
Yes. Through the very good. Thank you. But what I would point out is he doesn't do anything particularly fucking clever.
Right. No, he doesn't.
And Conan is not an intellectual giant by any stretch of the imagination. What he is a determinator and a physical Superman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's actually the id Superman's ego, as I said last time. But
I was going to say, just refresh for people who haven't heard the episode on Captain America. What is a determinator?
Right. Sorry. I'm stealing the term from TV tropes. A determinator is a character who does not quit.
Right.
Ever for anything. It of course is a play on words on Terminator. Absolutely will not stop until you are dead. And it is determinator in that I, this protagonist or supporting character or whoever, have decided I'm going to do this.
Right.
And it doesn't matter how many times you beat me up. Doesn't matter how many times I suffer a setback. It doesn't matter how many times you shoot me.
Right.
You're going to have to kill me stone cold fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then incinerate my body, because again, in Conan, they do kill him.
That's true.
On the Tree of Woe.
That's he crucify him.
And yes, crucified. Let him contemplate this upon the Tree of Woe,
Yes.
which I'm going to get to in a second.
Oh, cool.
They do that to him, and then Mako, I'm sorry, Akiro, the wizard, played by Mako in oh my god, talk about underappreciated acting parts. But anyway,
that was amazing.
Absolutely. So anyway, he gets brought back to fucking life, and then goes, all right, yep, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like
you should have killed me quick.
You should have killed me quick, and you should have then torn my body down and burned it, because now you fucked up. Okay?
Yeah.
And so it's strictly his physical prowess and his literally bloody minded determination that brings him the victory. There is no man, this is going to be like a sword and sorcery heist movie. Like, I've got a plan. We're going to figure all this out. Like, I got a trick.
They did have a plan in the movie, though. Like, that was stealing. And they even told him, dude, put your vengeance aside. Right now we're stealing the princess.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But in the end, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
It's, and it all went out the window.
Yeah.
So.
And then he got to do all of his kicking everybody's ass stuff, just slashing and bashing and stuff like that.
Just mutilating the hell out of him. Yeah.
So Conan is really the Rick Astley
by the way,
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. That's good. Fuck it. So, but what I want to point out about kicking everybody's ass, that whole scene, Milius freely admitted that he cribbed that from This Is Me. So I'm going to have to point out that this was borrowed from this source, Kurosawa.
Oh,
the Battle of the Standing Stones is a pastiche, borrowing, theft, whatever you want to call it, from the Seven Samurai.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Like if you look, if you go back and actually, now that I've said that, if you watch the movie again, you're going to get to that scene. You're going to be like, oh fuck.
Yeah, they've cut all the pikes.
Like the camera angles and the way they do the whole thing. Yeah. So I mean, there is a plan involved, but that plan is driven by no. I'm personally going to genocide you.
Yeah, and I will draw you to me.
I will pull you to me, and then I'm going to fuck you up.
Yes.
So.
See, now my read on him has always been different, like forever. And one of the reasons that I think this is such a good movie is because of this particular read. He is so psychologically damaged at the trauma of seeing his whole village wiped out that the only thing that
beheaded literally in front of him.
Yeah, while she's holding his hand.
Yeah.
And she falls away and he's staring at his hand, But the trauma that was inflicted upon him and then the further abuses that he suffered made him essentially the only language he knew was violence, because that was normalized for him and taken advantage of for him. And on top of that, the only purpose for being he had was vengeance. He was an instrument of vengeance, and that was it. I didn't even get to the will to power for him, because he was just an instrument of vengeance. And to me, the whole thing goes up to the idea that vengeance, and this is why I think Milius fell over backward into a good movie. He once he had his vengeance, he literally had no direction in his life to go.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends with him just sitting there staring at it emptily, like, well, what now?
Yeah.
And it was a much less verbal version of what happened to Inigo Montoya. But it's essentially the same thing. And that to me was the most fascinating part of it all. And so I totally get where you're going. But to me, it hit on a very different level. It was a very much more just look at this poor guy and how ruined he's been by everything. Because he doesn't ever really, he only smiles when he gets drunk. He doesn't really understand intimacy. He knows how to do the sex act. But he, by and large, is a novice at all things tender. And the only thing he knows, I mean, even when he tries to sneak into the cult in the first place, he's like he's found immediately because he sticks out like a sore thumb, and then he beats the guy down and steals his robes and tries to sneak in and just fucks it up. Like he does not have the tools to be either an intellectual or an emotional being.
Well, to be a functional human.
Yeah.
Really.
And once that drive is eliminated, he's got nothing. And that's what I love about it. Nothing. Yeah.
And that is so profoundly not Howard's Conan.
Right.
Like at all.
Right.
Like at all. That is the biggest thing as somebody who fell in love with this movie as my introduction to Conan. Mm-hmm. And then years later actually read the stories and came away thinking, oh my God, the books are so much better for a whole variety of reasons. Mm-hmm. That is, and I mean, I still unabashedly love this film. Mm-hmm. Like there's so much nostalgia and everything tied into the movie.
Oh, sure.
I think it can exist it does exist. I think on both levels. I think there's a lot of power in the narrative you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I think that's a crucial step to understand how this version of the character operates. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I think what Milius in his D+ in philosophy kind of way was trying to say, it's like, well, you nearly made it. You were kind of there. You got some of the really big themes, but like you didn't put them together the right way.
Right. You were an art student. You were a film student who took philosophy.
Who took philosophy and thought you were a philosopher because of it, because white guy
with a beard
with a beard
in the 70s, smelling of patchouli.
Yeah. So paging George Lucas. Please answer the white courtesy phone. Or don't just let it keep ringing cyclically forever because you don't understand fucking Buddhism. Sorry.
There's that.
Sorry, backing away from the mic now. But I think both of those narratives are takeaways, and I think are important takeaways. I think continuing on with the analysis, what we see is that nobody but the hero successfully stands up to Thulsa Doom.
True.
Conan is the only one who can do it because everybody else either has some position in society like, well, I'm the king. I can't go taking direct action because, it would lessen my position, in front of my people for me to give this guy the attention of going one-on-one.
Steal my daughter back.
He's got my daughter hostage. I can't admit that he's got my daughter, or whatever. Everybody else is stymied by social pressures or whatever, whereas Conan, being the Ubermensch, is able to just say, no, fuck that.
Well, it's also, they're all civilized.
Yes.
He's not.
See, here's the deal. That if that angle on it had been better played, that would be a really good Howardian angle in the story.
Sure.
But I really the sense that like from watching the film, the sense I get is less that it's he's a barbarian, he lives outside of society, he can do these things because he's outside of society, and it's more everybody else is held back by their individual sense of station, sense of duty. He is the Ubermensch. He is beyond all of that.
Sure.
You get what I mean?
I do. Yeah.
I think and so that's Milius's particular take on how that works. Violence, because you're talking about him being crippled and violence being the only language he understands. Violence is
Milius, or are we talking Conan?
We're talking Conan.
Oh, okay.
Well, and Milius.
Yeah.
Because,
he used to love to take his friends and just pull out the shotgun in his car. He would regularly show. Yeah, he had a hard on for guns. Shocking. But he would regularly pull out the gun and show it off to his friends. So yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah.
All right. So
Anyway, I stepped on you. Go.
On top of everything else, an auteur with small PP syndrome on top of everything else. So, but the point I want to make, because we're getting to a place now where we're coming up on needing to maybe take a break and shill some stuff. But what I want to point out before we get there is that in the film, violence is ubiquitous.
Yes.
And urgent and bloody, like desperately sanguinary.
Yeah.
It propels the story, and we see the characters showing prowess and power through its exercise.
Yeah,
so
it
the,
is.
The key,
yeah.
The key to what makes Subotai is he can kill people really well with a bow. He's able to shoot really fast and hit stuff, and
thief and archer.
He's a killer.
Arcane.
Thief and archer. Yeah. What makes Valeria is she is a she-devil with a sword. She's Red Sonja without the red hair.
Right.
And she is this warrior figure. Conan, who in the books is this reaver and this raider and this thief, in the movie he's a prototypical D&D barbarian.
Sure.
D12 dice, 18 double-aught strength. Hitting everything with a bastard sword that kind of isn't. I could sword nerd about the Atlantean sword for a very long time, but that's beside the point here. Every opportunity that those characters have to show their skill, to show that they are competent, their competence is always tied up in violence.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Like we take for granted the fact that they're able to throw grappling hooks and climb a tower.
Right.
Like that doesn't even really get commented on.
Yeah, that was almost kind of surprising that he could do that. Yeah, like it was surprising that Conan knew how to do that. Like you understood that Valeria did because that's the context in which you met her. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. And even Valeria, like his respect for her was that she could fight. Like he watched her fight and he's like, "Oh shit, this gal can go."
Yeah.
Like he sees her fight before they bone.
Yeah. And that's kind of what gets his nostrils flaring. So, and so every opportunity that they have to show off their competence has to do with direct physical confrontation. It has to do with fighting.
Right.
It's not about being a good climber. It's not about being able to tell a story. It's not about being able to be, the face man and win people over. Because nobody ever does that. There's no point in this story where anybody successfully acts as the face man for the group. There is no bard in this D&D party.
That's a good point.
Like at all. There's a wizard,
right,
who weirdly kind of plays the role of cleric as well. Because resurrection, raise dead, whatever. There's the thief, Subotai, winds up being the guy who plays the role of the thief.
Valeria is also the thief, though.
Well, yeah,
she's the heister.
But multi-class fighter thief.
Yeah, again. Whereas he's archer thief.
And then Conan again is the melee striker. I'm going to run in and like hit him over the head with a sharpened piece of metal, which I mean, that's who I play in a game.
Sure.
Most of the time, because, I don't have to worry about keeping track of how many spell slots have I got left? What am I doing? It's too complicated. Look, I'm doing this for catharsis. I just want to kill monsters and like get loot and be witty while I'm doing it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
So, nothing against that. But like in the context of actually trying to be a character, Conan in this movie is kind of that guy at your gaming table who's just like, he has a character sheet and that's kind of it.
Right.
He's
deactivated until combat.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like whatever. All the talkie characters do all your shit. Let me know when the fight starts.
Right.
And I'm there.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I mean, more power to that guy for showing up. We all get what we get out of a tabletop game, but like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So, and on that note, I think now is probably a good time for us to cut away for a moment and then come back to this.
I think so. All right. We'll catch you all on the other side.
All right.
Hello, Geek Timers. This is producer George, interrupting this podcast to let you know that we have space available. This space could be used to promote your product, book, event, group, even wish a special someone happy birthday. If you're interested in using this space, please contact us on Twitter via private message at Geek History Time.
Oh, man.
And-
what a good ad.
Yeah, well, like always. I mean, when do we give a bad one?
That's a good point.
You know.
Definitely worth the money, though. Just saying out loud.
Because we are motivated.
Yes.
Like we will happily anything you can provide to us that we can have any level of real meaningful faith in, we will shill the daylights out of it.
Yes.
Because at our core, we are both essentially mercenaries.
Yeah, I need the money.
Yeah. we have literally children to feed.
Mm-hmm. So
And
by
Christmas to
not
provide
by
for.
not
So,
doing a commercial, you are keeping my kids from eating meat. Just saying, or tofu.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really. I mean,
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you not to buy a commercial?
Dare you?
Yeah.
How very dare you, sir or madam?
I can't afford for you not to. Really.
Yeah, neither can I. At this point, now that you put it that way, and kind of a depressing thought. Please, for the love of God, buy some ad time, folks.
We're hungry.
So, I want to be able to celebrate Christmas this year, please. Anyway, where we left off, back to the business at hand.
Yes.
So violence, ubiquitous, it's everywhere, and it is a force that propels the story and gives definition and meaning to who our protagonists are.
Sure, and gives them value.
And
straight up gives them value. Like you can actually rank the Conan crew based on their ability to do violence. In fact, even the wizard, and I wanted to bring this up before. The wizard comes out a threatening. He's like, "I'm a wizard, mind you," and and he's like, "Well,
summon a demon more powerful than all in hell."
Right.
Which, by the way, is like, I wish I could somehow get the opportunity to play a wizard character in, like join a party that doesn't have like a group of people that have been gaming for like 9 months or a year or something.
Sure.
And introduce my wizard character with that set of lines.
That would be fun.
Because that is just so goddamn perfect. And then that wonderful, and there's that wonderful moment, that wonderful, immensely macho American moment where he says that and they lock eyes.
Yeah.
And then they both bust out laughing.
Yeah. And then he waves him over to drink.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
Oh my God. And that is so perfectly Dungeons and Dragons too.
It really is. But okay.
Oh, okay.
So the wizard though, he comes out a threatening, which I get back then. Okay, Bronze Age stuff. But he comes out a threatening, but he comes out a threatening violence, and he can't do corporeal damage. So he's like, I can do the magic shit. And be careful, And then he talks about how nobody bothers him because he takes care of the dead. And then what does he do during the battle? He actually stabs a dude with his spear. And he has a turtle moment where he can't actually get up. But he stabs a dude with his spear, and Subutai congratulates him, and in some ways they welcome him into the fold now.
You had
if you remember,
you are now part of the tribe.
Yeah, he's just straight up, that's how we do it, And he's like, I did it with my spear, and they're all laughing. But even before that, the fact that he brought weapons to them, he's bringing the instruments of violence. And they even say, are the gods going to help us? He's like, no, well then tell them to stay out of the way. And, they have that violence dripping kind of exchange. So you're absolutely right. And so the wizard's value is tied directly to his ability to support their violence. And then ultimately he has to get in on it for him to be truly blood in, blood out kind of thing.
Well, yeah, and I think that ties in again to Milius's really fucked up fragile masculinity kind of view of because all of this is viewed through this really Hemingway-esque manfulness is like the only virtue, masculinity, narrowly defined male role kind of thing. And all of it is there. I mean, this is this same toxic masculinity that was involved. Like, remember what he said about his contribution to the script, because he directed the film, but he also had a draft of the script that he wrote for Dirty Harry, where he said, what I contributed was guns, a lot of guns, and the fact that the cop and the killer were basically the same, except the cop had a badge and he was lonely. Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
One, how nihilistic is that? Two, how deeply are you damaged by these ideas of machismo? That, like, this is your idea of, oh yeah, no, that's totally what I contributed to that story. Like, is that really, are we calling that a contribution? Like, I mean, in my, beta soy boy, 2020 liberal cuck kind of way, I'm kind of looking at that like, I don't know if that's really a contribution.
Right.
I don't, I mean, clearly that's the influence you had, but are we really going to give it the value of a contribution?
Well, I'm looking at
and then yeah, like you say, this. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm looking at what movies were coming out, though, at the time of Dirty Harry. And a lot of them were not... They were either ultra-violent or there was no violence at all. So his idea of contributing might have been, no, I pushed it to the limit that we were pushing against, like, filmically. Like, the same thing with Taxi Driver. Like, it was a tremendously violent movie. Like, Dirty Harry, I want to say, was, 74, 75? The second Godfather movie was 72, and it was way violent for 72. Taxi Driver, I think, was right around that same time, too, and it was way violent for that time. So adding all the guns and such to Dirty Harry, that might have been like, hey, I was pushing against those borders there.
Well, yeah, and again, that gets back to that whole auteur, my contribution is I'm pushing against, the system as it exists. And okay, I can see that, but that's still rooted in this idea of, again, talking about, conflict being the defining value thing is, well, I was resisting the studio system. I was pushing against, I was Sisyphus pushing this boulder up a hill, kind of thing. Like, that's the virtue that I have going on, which, I evoke Sisyphus, which, immediately to me brings up existentialism, which is giving these guys way too much goddamn credit for having done any reading in college.
Right. But that's true.
But it's that same. I think it much more goes back to that modernism point from earlier about struggle, violence, and all this stuff being purifying, being all of that. And so. The last point here that I want to get to, well, not really. The last point in this particular line of logic is that the world that all of these characters inhabit is haunted by these dark sorcerous forces, but the hero and his companions overcome all of them through violent physical prowess.
Yeah.
Like, the world is a scary place where weird hoodoo shit happens. And our villain is like part man, part snake, sorcerer, wizard. And like, you can randomly wind up, if you're wandering alone, you can randomly wind up being semi-kidnapped, semi-seduced by a weird witch demon woman.
Right.
Who you have to, to save your own life, you got to pitch her into her own fireplace, like the world.
Or you could be chased by wolves.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, but I'm not. I'm thinking less about the wolves, and I'm thinking more about the weird, invisible.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
spooky kind of aspect of the world that always consistently throughout the film and in the sequel, but especially in this first film, winds up being overcome through steel and violent prowess.
Now, I love that point. I have two questions for you about that. One.
Okay.
Are you going to touch on the riddle of steel?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Coming. Two, are you going to touch on the differences in what is best in life?
No. Let's talk about that though.
So he's sitting there with, I assume, Mongolians or Huns?
Well, that's who it's. Yeah, it's Mongols.
Okay.
I mean, all of the trappings as the more recently longer serving world history guy. It's
Right.
all the coding. All the coding is Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Like I'm amazed that we don't see a clip of Subotai in the back of the crowd. Like,
Right. Right.
oh hey, we met once many years ago. You don't remember? Like it's clearly Mongols. But
Right.
anyway, continue.
So he says, a guy holds up a scroll and says, "Oh, Dao we've won again!" And everybody cheers. This is good. But what is best in life? And Conan is literally sitting in the middle, and the red-headed slaver, who is his master, is sitting off to his right now. So Conan is now everybody's pet champion. And he says, "What is best in life?" And another dude says, "The open steppe, free force." Or I might be saying that wrong.
A swift horse.
A swift horse.
The open steppe.
Right.
A swift horse. Falcons at your wrist.
And the
wind in your hair.
Right. So clearly,
which are
Mongol. Like that's all Mongol.
Oh, yeah. Like horse nomad. Like 7 days a week, twice on. And very much hedonist.
Yes.
Here is this wonderful set of sensations.
Right. Now,
and all of it. And okay, go ahead.
I was going to say, all of what you just mentioned is a person who is present in the world, who exists post-battle, who lives during downtime. Conan, and the guy says, "Wrong." And then he picks on Conan. Because you and I both have that student that we know if we call on them, they're going to give us the right answer, so that we feel like we're doing a good job. So he calls on Conan and goes,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, not at all.
I don't.
Not at all.
Slander, sir.
I deliberately don't let that kid answer sometimes. Conan, what is best in life? And Conan says, "Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women." And everybody cheers and says, "That is good. That is good." And I think the very next scene, he is being chopped free. But what's interesting to me is that everything that he just mentioned only exists once initiative has been rolled. Everything he mentions, crush your enemy, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. It's all battle.
I love the way you phrased that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's not actualized. He is activated during battle, and that's all he can think of. And I would say the other guy is actually living in the world, whereas Conan is merely an instrument of whoever's in charge of him. Which is why the next scene, him getting his freedom, is actually more of a tragic scene for him, because now he has no purpose again, and he has to go out and find it. And so then he, activates Revenge Program 1. But he is absolutely that character that sits there at the table and does nothing until, I throw a chair and now we start fighting. Like, everything that he values, and this is what I want to get back to, everything that he values is we talked about this, I think we talked about this when I talked about the futurists.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's all the stuff that the futurists loved. And he's talking about the fisticuff, the violence, the beauty of the violence and all that. And that's what is best in life, is essentially hurting other people, like imposing your will to power. And I think that that's a really interesting thing, that's treated as, because the other thing is spurned almost immediately, whereas Conan's ideals, they're not ideals. But his ideals,
well, it's not
are treated as such
by our again soy boy beta kind of worldview, not ideals at all. But the couple of things in response to what you're saying. Number one, that quote about to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women. It is my understanding, and maybe we can look this up, and one of us can say whether or not it's actually correct. It is my understanding that is actually attributed to Genghis Khan.
God damn, what a guy.
Well, he was responsible for a period of global cooling because he killed so many people that they weren't, putting smoke in the atmosphere with their cooking fires anymore. So,
yeah, there's that.
Like
that's something.
Let's talk about the Anthropocene and how that works. I think it's interesting what you said a second ago about when he's activated.
Real quick, he did lift it. Milius lifted it from a book by Harold Lamb called Genghis Khan, the Emperor of All Men. So he lifted it straight. In fact, both of those quotes it's directly from that. It's directly from that. So yeah.
Okay.
So anyway.
Well, creativity is knowing how to hide your sources.
Yeah.
So, but what you said about him being the element, the will to power. Mm-hmm. That statement is all about the will to power, imposing your will on someone else. Mm-hmm. What's interesting is that quote is totally will to power, imposing your will on someone else. Yes. But as you point out, the moment he's not following somebody else's orders, he doesn't have a will to power anymore.
Right. Yeah, he
is a broken tool. Mm-hmm. Until he, as you say, activates revenge program number 1, and Thulsa Doom better get hiding quick.
Sure. Yeah.
So my assertion here with all of this is that thematically all of this is the same narrative that Reagan tapped into to get elected.
I was about to say it's also Reagan post-election too, because Carter, was like, hey, let's enjoy this environment that we have. Like, let's, here's the EPA. Well, I mean, that was Nixon. Yeah. But let's use solar
Carter
panels.
Ran with it.
Yeah. And let's do all this stuff, and let's make peace between two peoples who have been warring for 30 years. And Reagan was like, let's redo Vietnam because we're embarrassed. So sorry, Grenada. It's crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the
lamentations of the women. So, but what we're looking at here is individualism, strife and struggle, direct confrontation of an enemy, economic forces. Because remember, we're talking about the 70s sucking, and so we're looking at all the economic shit that was going on.
Yes,
economic forces are murky and invisible, but we can defeat them through work and freer markets.
Wow. And
you
give the best weapon.
The will to power of the individual.
Give the best weapon to the strongest guy. So there's your supply side economics.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Collectivism, whether it's Soviet socialism or union action, is for the weak and the corrupt.
Right.
Okay. The USSR was portrayed as a dictatorial regime of blind sheep.
Right.
Reagan stood against them as the virile, manful hero who'd forced them to submit.
Often seen as a cowboy, the American ideal of individualism, with violence, by the way, being like his way of activating himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's worth noting here that before the election, opinion polls showed that while people liked Reagan better than Carter, they still weren't all totally thrilled with him. He was not, before the election, he was not massively, oh my God, yeah, Reagan, like popular. There were plenty of people who were like, well, we're not totally thrilled with him because he seems like kind of an empty-headed, howdy-doody, Hollywood guy.
Right.
But by the same token, but they dislike Carter more.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of odd.
Carter, who was really, really smart and very well qualified. Huh.
And like frighteningly competent. Yeah. So, so the film portrays all the heroes are distinctly anti-heroes.
Right.
And the king who hires them is just as grasping and cynical as everybody else is.
Right.
There are no good guys in Conan the Barbarian. And as much as Reagan wanted to paint himself as the good guy, a great many people knew even people who voted for him, a great many of them knew he was not Roland
really uncomfortable
of the 12 peers. Yeah, it already is. Are you kidding?
Oh.
So, yeah. Now, I in my notes here, this is where I bring up that James Earl Jones's portrayal of Doom is totally underrated.
Oh, extremely.
Like desperately underrated. He chews scenery with clear relish. It's like he smeared mustard on it and is just gnawing on it.
Yes.
It's as somebody who did theater in high school and a very little bit in college, and I'm still kind of a drama nerd. Watching him do that is like, it is clear he's having too much damn fun. And the way and what's remarkable is the way he plays up Doom as a cult leader, with his voice, thunderous and terrifying one moment and gentle and manipulative the next.
Yes. And almost sad. Like at one point he's very sad. Like, oh yeah, such a waste. Like, and just when he crucifies him, even. Oh, okay, go.
Yeah. I'm about to get to that. But honestly, I think his vocal work in this movie, just the way he uses his voice in that role, is far better than his work as Darth Vader. And Vader is the role that everybody remembers. Like, you say James Earl Jones, that's the one. Like Thulsa Doom shows up on his resume like at a distant fourth. Yeah. Behind Vader, Roots. I don't even know what is third.
Field of Dreams.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and this is where I'm going to bring in the Riddle of Steel, because his vocal work ties into that. Crom is the only god that Conan venerates, at all. And the Riddle of Steel is Crom's greatest secret. Turns out, we find out, spoiler alert, not really spoiler, the movie's over 30 years old. But turns out the Riddle of Steel was also Doom's goal in his early life when he murdered Conan's people.
Yep. I hope you're going to quote it.
Oh, yeah, I've got it right here in front of me. What does that turn out to be? And here's the quote. And there's absolutely no way I'm going to do James Earl Jones justice, but here I go trying.
Do it as a 1930s announcer instead, like the guy who did the Hindenburg.
No, I can't bring it. That's tempting, but I can't bring myself to do it. Yes, you know what it is, don't you, boy? Shall I tell you? It's the least I can do. Steel isn't strong, boy. Flesh is stronger. Look around you. There, on the rocks, a beautiful girl. Come to me, my child. And the girl, it should be for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, because everybody who has is already, following the mental painting.
Yes.
A willowy looking young actress leaps off of a balcony, probably 2 stories.
Oh yeah.
Shatters the wooden floor that they're all standing on, and is clearly killed instantly on impact. So he coaxes her to suicide, then turns to Conan, smacks the back of one hand in the palm of the other, and says, "That is strength, boy. That is power. What is steel compared to the hand that wields it? Look at the strength in your body, the desire in your heart. I gave you this. Such a waste. Contemplate this on the tree of woe. Crucify him." So right there, like you might as well be reading from the Cliff's Notes of Nietzsche, because that is the Nietzschean will of the individual again.
Sure.
Strength and vitality as virtues in and of themselves.
Yeah.
The individuals, the strength of the individual's hand, the strength of the individual's will to do whatever it is they're going to do.
Way more than the steel.
Is far more powerful than the metal itself. So Milius's film was an essay on strength and the Übermensch, viewed through the frame of Howard's character of Conan, the outsider who faced corrupting civilized softness with barbarian honesty and virility. So he wound up. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd like to point out something here as well, because there's another layer to that, of course, because Milius keeps falling over backward into it. I really don't want to give him that much credit, because like every interview with him, I'm just like, no, dude, no, how did you do such a beautiful thing?
You're a toad.
Yeah.
How the hell did you do this? You're kind of,
here's what Conan says. You killed my mother. You killed my father. You killed my people. You took my father's sword. He says, must have been when I was younger. You know, and there was a time, boy, when all I cared about was weapons of steel and on and on. And they said that earlier too. But what I love is that his dad was the one who was a sword maker. His dad was forging the sword. His family was forging the sword. Conan was going to grow up being a sword forger. And he was taken radically off that path because they slaughtered his whole family, killing his father in front of him, by the way, with dogs. And then and a well-placed axe in the back, and then killing his mother. And lo and behold, the riddle of steel, which his dad had told him, like, no one on this earth can you trust, speaking of your individualism. By the way, his dad was the same guy. Yes, this you can trust. His dad was the same guy who played the Russian fox in Red Dawn, the guy who was hunting the Wolverines. Same guy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And
also, he was actually considered for the role of Conan.
Yes, and he actually does speak Russian. Like, there were a few other movies that he's done recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
But back to the thing. So this you can trust, and he points to his sword. So to him, the riddle of steel is you can always trust steel. Look at this thing that I've made. Look to your tools. Look to your capabilities of making something that is a force multiplier. And he dies. And Thulsa Doom comes in and says, oh no, it's all about what good is steel compared to the flesh that wields it? Because he's in some ways right. Steel will just sit there until you have a hand that's trained to use it and use it the right way. And then it's about your will, like you said. So Thulsa Doom wrecks Conan's world a second time because he knows the riddle of steel. He tells Conan the answer that is clearly, by that universe's rules, more valid than his father's answer was, by virtue of the fact that he had killed his father with violence.
Wow.
And so it's a total replacement of the old paradigm that Conan had been raised upon, but then had fairly well forgotten anyway. For those of you that can't see, Ed's eyes just crossed. So,
yeah, that you're right.
Yeah,
he clearly, Milius fell backward into that.
Yes,
because like you said, looking at what he wrote and what he had to say about his own work, there's no way.
No, if you listen to the director's cut,
there's no way.
It's he's like it's the worst.
His own profundity went completely over his own head.
Oh my God. So like, and then he says, such a waste. Like, I gave you this. In other words, I gave you the wheel to struggle against. I gave you everything that you could possibly need to activate your sheer force of will, and you never did. You were just an instrument. You were literally just a sword. And then he says, contemplate this on the tree of woe.
Yeah, not even a sword, a blunt object.
Yeah, you're going to die knowing that you were taught wrong, knowing that I was right, and knowing that you failed.
Well, haha, motherfucker, I got a wizard.
Yeah, as it turns out. Well, so I want to,
and then as it turns out, you gave me all of this will, and all of this will is now directed at killing you.
Exactly.
Stone fucking dead.
Now, I want to point out something with Reagan, by the way.
Okay.
Good old Ronzo. When he didn't get killed,
Reagan.
when he didn't get killed, his popularity shot through the roof. He essentially was resurrected because he damn near died. Prior to that, he was very unpopular for what he had done. Although he had come in on a virtual landslide. He won over 50% of the vote, and Carter only won 41%.
Well, the popular vote, he won 51%. Mm-hmm. He won in an electoral landslide.
Yes.
So, an electoral victory that was much, much bigger than his actual victory based on the popular vote.
Okay,
Are you feeling uncomfortable yet?
Here's the thing, though. Reagan actually did win the popular.
Case, well, yes.
He was the last.
He did actually win the popular vote. But.
Well, and he won by almost 9 percentage points because there was an independent who pulled some votes. But he won by a significant margin, popular wise too.
Yeah,
he did.
And if it had been for that independent who was another Republican running against him, it should be noted.
Yeah,
his margin would have been even bigger. It's
exactly.
True. Yes.
So he won.
So yeah,
he was very popular. But by the time he got shot, people were really sour on him because he was fucking over workers.
A bunch of shit that pissed everybody off. Yeah.
But then he rejuvenates out by the ocean. Yeah. Somebody draws all over him.
What didn't kill him did in fact make him politically stronger.
And then he invaded Grenada.
Yeah. Well, you keep getting back to that. In the same way that Reagan was a charismatic, vital, masculine figure, promising victory against unseeable, chaotic forces. Through individual freedom, right? We're gonna cut all the regulation. Government isn't the solution to the problem. Government is the problem. We're gonna cut all the regulation. We're gonna give you, sir, the ideal Ayn Randian capitalist individual. We're gonna give you the freedom to solve all these problems.
Right.
In the same way that he promised victory against a collectivist, authoritarian enemy, Soviet Union. Cold Warrior. And in the 80s through the 1990s, that machismo defined action heroes in general. It was an inescapable part of the genre. Because it was an unescapable part of the national psyche. And it's one of the underpinnings of the rightward shift of the culture during that time period. And that's in terms of I have now presented my thesis. This is the point at which I stand with arms outstretched and head cocked like what motherfucker, what? Because that's as far as the argument goes, that's my conclusion. But I still have more to say. Talking about aftermath and effect of all of this. First thing is I've already said it once in this episode, probably previously. I loved this movie so goddamn much.
I still do.
When I was at middle school and high school, and I still do too. This movie and The Blues Brothers were the two films that I watched more than any others through junior high and into high school. In high school, I discovered Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and it was all over. But to an adolescent boy, all the subtext and philosophy was imperceptible.
Sure.
But the image of Conan standing powerful and defiant against the forces of doom, his prayer to Crom before facing them, and if you will not answer my prayer, then to hell with you.
Right.
It was fucking intoxicating. It was like, oh my God, set all the testosterone in my bloodstream on fucking fire. Like, holy shit.
And that music. Oh my God, that music.
Oh God. Yeah, I haven't even gotten to talking about the score. The score is muscular.
Oh yeah.
All that heavy, deep timpani percussion,
and those horns coming in,
But Lord, it is in terms of symphonic soundtracks. It is the closest thing I think anybody has come to music to make you want to run through a fucking brick wall.
Yeah.
Like that's part of the, like when I on the sporadic occasions on which I get wild hair and I decide no man, I'm going to go to the gym. the Conan theme is part of my workout playlist because that the like you say, the percussion at the very beginning of that, it's like there's no way. Like
that's your heart
that
racing.
Makes the treadmill. Yeah, that actually has a perceptible effect on your heart rate, and that is one of a very few things that can make a treadmill suck marginally less. Right there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so I thought when I started the research for this is something I learned. I thought that in the same way that Battlestar Galactica was a oh man, sci-fi is really popular, we're gonna make some money off of this, response to Star Wars. I thought that a whole host of other movies that came around the same time, I thought they were, oh hey, Conan was a hit. We got to do this. We got to do the same thing. Turns out I was wrong. there's a whole host of schlocky sword and sorcery movies that came out at the same time.
Yes.
And they were made at the same time.
Yes.
Most notable are The Beastmaster.
Oh, I love that one.
And Ator the Fighting Eagle.
Okay, never saw that. But The Beastmaster was the bomb, dude.
Okay, so my dad and I, my parents and I, because my mom got dragged along with us. She has the patience of Job. Mm-hmm. we went and saw Ator the Fighting Eagle in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And all of these films feature muscular, shirtless protagonists.
Oh, yeah.
Fighting against sorcerous enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But none of them had the same success Conan did.
Because none of them had... Yeah.
Beastmaster had success, but it had success after it got picked up and run eternally over and over on HBO.
Yes, that's true. Now here's why, though. None of them had Arnold Schwarzenegger. That man was thick and beefy. He was everything that people wanted to be. Like, Mark Singer was a very muscular fellow, but he was lithe. He was built for agility.
He actually looked like Conan should look.
Right. But
except his hair and his eyes are the wrong color.
Right.
But his build was the way Conan
But he
look.
was built for actual fighting. Conan was built for fainting.
Yeah. Conan was built for posing on a stage.
Yes.
Conan is beefcake, or Schwarzenegger was beefcake. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of it. Mm-hmm. But I also have to say there is a level on which Arnie has a level of remarkable charisma. Even though he goes through that, even though his acting in this movie is crap.
I disagree entirely.
Okay, well,
I disagree.
Different interpretation of the character based on the interpretation of him being, a child soldier, trauma victim. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Because they didn't let him talk.
But they didn't let him talk because of his accent.
Yeah. He's a tremendous comedic actor, by the way. His timing is excellent.
Oh yeah, no, I mean later stuff he did. No, it's amazing. You can tell he's got a crackerjack sense of humor, and but he exudes charisma.
Yes, he does.
And Singer is a competent actor. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's doing. He hits all of his marks. He does it real well, but he just does not have the same level of animal magnetism that Arnie does.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, that was unintentional. That's a freebie. So, and the guy that played Ator was again a competent enough actor, hit all of his marks, did everything real well, but he's kind of compared to Arnold, he's a wet noodle. Like they just don't have the same presence.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, so all of these guys are these shirtless barbarian heroes. Mm-hmm. All of these guys are these muscular, hyper masculine kind of, fantasy images. And so that again ties into that whole. We've been through the 70s. Our morale is shot. We need to look up to these figures of these hyper virile, warrior champions.
Sure.
Now, while I'm talking about this, friend of the show, Bishop, and our sponsor, is undoubtedly going to harp on me if I don't mention, talking about all these schlocky other movies, if I don't mention Hawk the Slayer. He's going to give me a hard time, but it doesn't actually fit the pattern.
Okay.
And he and I are going to get into an argument on this, but I need to make my case now because he's not here to defend it. It predates Conan by 2 years. Hawk the Slayer actually comes out in 80. It starred Jack Palance.
Oh, wow.
In a role that was an obvious Darth Vader impersonation.
Oh, wow.
And the whole time he's playing the part, you can hear the sound of his paycheck clearing.
Okay.
Like it is so clear money, dear boy. Like that's,
right. Right.
What was your motivation in that scene? I got to put my kid through college. Like,
I have a mortgage.
And so, yeah. And so my argument here is that Hawk the Slayer is less a sword and sorcery movie than it is a thematic ripoff of Star Wars in fantasy drag. Then it really is part of the barbarian movie sword and sorcery subgenre. Bishop, fight me.
Or pay money to buy a commercial to say why that's wrong.
Or to, yes, there you go.
I prefer
can pitch
that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, I'd like that too. So then 84. Conan the Destroyer comes out. Okay. And I watched the hell out of that one too. But Destroyer didn't have the same power Barbarian did.
No.
Subutai, who's one of the most entertaining characters in the first movie, got dropped like a hot rock.
Yes. Malik comes in.
And they introduced Malik.
I liked him. He was a backstabber. He's why every D&D character I had daggers.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. But he didn't have the same level of, again, charisma that Subutai did.
I disagree. He didn't have the same level of gravitas. He was comedic relief in a movie that previously had no comedic relief.
Had no comedy relief.
Yeah.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
Even though the main character punches a fucking camel.
Yes.
And somehow it still manages to not be funny because we're so busy drowning in Nietzschean bullshit that
they're also on
the humor
drugs.
Gets choked out of the movie.
They're on drugs, and then suddenly a cult comes out. It's like, what the fuck, man? And Subutai's like, you're too big to be a thief, and let's get him out of there. But that camel comes back in the second movie too, and spits all over him.
Oh, that's true.
He even tries to apologize. And what's weird
funny.
is Malik reminds him. He says, "Hey, doesn't that camel look familiar?" And he always talks like that. He's like, "I think it does." He's like, "I'm sorry about that." And it spits on him, and he just smashes it on the head. And you're like, "What the? Okay,
what the fuck?" Dude?
Yeah.
So again, Subutai gets dropped.
Yep.
And the story wound up. And the story wound up being more of a D&D module.
Yes.
Than a Howard adventure. I mean, and the whole party is all D&D archetypes.
Oh my God, you're right.
I mean, which is part of the reason my friends and I were like, "Oh man, this is fucking awesome!" Because we could look at that and go, "Man, I got to roll up a thief like Malik, dude. I gotta do a female fighter like Grace Jones, whatever the fuck she was doing in that movie." It could be. Yeah. Except we were all playing first edition, and monks were.
She was the acrobat in the D&D cartoon.
Oh,
black chick with the staff.
You go.
Yeah.
Holy shit! There you go. And Bombata, of course, is the bad guy traveling with the party, dragon, whole thing. I mean, it's just it's all there.
Like that movie was far more entertaining. It was not as good.
Yeah, it was not a good movie.
It was not as organic either. It was like, okay, you get to the spot and you're gonna fight these guys where the guy goes ching ching with his gauntlets.
It was a D&D. It was a D&D.
Yeah.
It was a TSR. It was a TSR published module.
Yeah.
In movie form.
Oh, what
is what it? And
that's
so
right.
It
and
just
they
didn't have the same charm.
Remember, they had to rescue Malik from the cannibals.
Oh yeah.
The guys are all painted. You know?
Yeah. No, it's again totally.
And they had to rescue Akiro, not Malik. Malik has a line as though he fucking knows Akiro too. That's what got me. Like Malik was way too familiar with everyone.
Like what all the hell happened between the first movie and the second movie? Yeah. Like I want an interstitial film.
So I saw that
shows
film.
Me.
Yeah, I saw that film with my dad in the theater, and at that time we had met each other. Like I think by that time, when did it come out? 84.
84. So was this before or after the poster and you vomiting all over the couch?
This is after, because this is the same year that my little brother was born. All right, so Dad is fully into the family, and he took me to see this movie, and I mean I was 6 when he took me to see it.
Okay.
And we'd already seen Barbarian, and I had vomited not on the poster but all over the pillow, and so we went to see it. And I asked him where Subutai was, and his response was, "When you hang out with the hero, it doesn't go well for you." Like he told me that.
your dad was deep, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. He's a smart
Holy
fella.
Shit.
But yeah, he told me,
Yeah, no
like, that
kidding.
was his
That's the kind of
explanation
stuff
of, like,
wow.
sometimes when you hang out with the hero, it ain't going to go well for you. And I'm like, oh, shit. It is dangerous being around the hero.
That's profound.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Yeah. I tell my students that all the time in Greek mythology. I'm like, if you have a chance to hang out with a demigod, run the other way. Because you're just going to be a plot device. Like,
yeah, well, yeah. That's you're going to get fridged.
Yeah.
So,
anyway, yes.
So I mean, so it was a more entertaining movie. It had Olivia D'Abo playing the princess, which was certainly appealing to 12-year-old me.
She got a Razzie.
Is still
for
appealing.
It, I think.
Huh?
I think she got a Razzie for it. A Razzie?
Yeah, she probably did.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it wasn't deserved.
Nope. But it was fun to see her in the Wonder Years a few years later. I was like, oh, it's you.
Oh yeah.
And then in Star Trek, where she's the baby Q, I was like, cool.
Yeah. Well, anyway, sorry. And like I said, Wilt Chamberlain played a pretty good heavy.
He did.
But Milius didn't have anything to do with the second movie. He had fucked off to do other stuff.
Wilt Chamberlain is also not the tallest guy in that movie.
The wizard?
No.
The evil
no.
guy with
the guy who played Dagoth, the horn creature.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was Andre the Giant.
That makes sense. Bullshit.
Dead
that
serious.
Was how that connection happened?
That's Andre the fucking
Giant.
Okay. Yeah.
So you've heard the stories about Wilt Chamberlain, because Wilt Chamberlain wrote about that movie in his memoir.
I did not read that.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't heard this?
No. Okay. Tell me.
So briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Arnie and Andre were friends from somewhere back previously.
Mm-hmm.
And so on the movie, they went to Wilt and they were like, "Hey, come with us. We're gonna go out drinking.
Mm-hmm.
We're going out to a bar." And of course, Wilt Chamberlain was like 7 feet tall, however tall he was, big dude, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, "All right, yeah, fine. I can, Arnold is muscular, but he's, shorter than I am." Yeah. Oh yeah. So since this is an audio medium, you guys don't have the advantage of seeing it. But Damian has found a photo presumably from the set or set adjacent of Arnold and Wilt and Andre hanging out. And what strikes me with those photos is that Wilt is almost as tall as Andre.
Yes.
And Arnold looks like Wolverine standing amongst the rest of the X-Men.
Yeah,
because he's only 6'1" or however tall he is.
He's only taller than me by an inch or two.
Yeah, and the other two guys are 7
foot
feet
above.
tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, Wilt was like, "Oh yeah, all right, I'll go drinking with these guys, whatever, a couple of whatever, thinking he was going to be able to
no one drinks Andre under the table.
No. Yeah. And he wound up he had an oh shit moment about an hour into the evening where he realized these two are fucking psychos. Oh my God, they're madmen.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre was doing his party trick where he'd ask a couple of ladies to sit on his forearms and he'd lift them with just his biceps.
Yes.
Yeah. And drinking, and Arnold is just drinking, and they're like taking down gallons of beer and whatever else they're drinking.
Oh yeah.
And the following morning he showed up on set thinking, wishing for death. Yes. Like the hangover was excruciating. And he thought that the two of them were going to give him no end of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was going to get such a hard time because they were like, "Oh, you lightweight, you little basketball player, you don't know what you can." But in point of practical fact, it was, "Oh yeah, you did really well. No, you can come out with us whenever. Yeah, come on, man." They were like, "Oh yeah, no, most normals can't hang."
Right.
You had to quit early, but you're not us.
You made it an hour,
Yeah, you made it an hour and a half or whatever it was, and so yeah. But in another episode, this is where I'm going to close it out. But in another episode, I can go into comparing this movie, 82's Conan, to the 2011 Conan movie.
Oh yes.
which is totally worth doing. But that's outside my thesis for
Sure.
this series. I'll just note that I absolutely loved the 2011 movie.
I enjoyed it
for a whole host of reasons. Because to me, it felt more like a Howard story and less like a right-wing philosophy tract.
I can see that.
And now that I said that, I have an excuse to watch both movies again for research.
Good time for it. Yeah.
So now that we've gotten through all of this,
Sure.
What is your takeaway? What does this leave you thinking about? What is the lesson you've pulled out of all this?
I think the thing that I said that made you go cockeyed about the riddle of steel is a gem, and I think I'm going to rest on that for a bit. But also, just the you looked at it, and it's a subtle shift, and it's one that most won't think to do until they listen to this episode, I think, and well done for it. But it's a subtle shift, and it's the shift of going from the idea of civilization versus barbarism into and shifting to individualism versus collectivism.
Okay, yeah.
And because I see aspects of both of those things in each other, but I think the way that you threaded that needle was really well done. And I think you're absolutely right. I think it's also, I mean, if you really look at Conan the Barbarian and you even just compare it to The Destroyer, which is its own show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think the addition of pant leggings is really when you start to see your heroes get watered down. Because anyone who wears pants, they're gonna get killed. But Conan, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah. So
yeah, all right, I see that.
Yeah.
What's worth noting here? One more difference between the movies and the stories is there are any number of places in the stories where a very great point is made by Howard of Conan picking up a corselet of chainmail or picking up, putting on a breastplate, finding, a leather breastplate, finding greaves, finding a helmet,
right,
whatever, and putting it the fuck on.
In fairness, in the Battle of the Mounds,
Because
he was armed to the teeth and armored to the teeth. He wore pants with weird flappy things that came down below, kind of like what Ray wore. He had armor on, and he even had a helmet on. Like he did all that shit. Now the helmet was part of his subterfuge, but you're right. Like most of the time, he goes into battle and doesn't get cut. And it's like, wow, way to go. But in that Battle of the Mounds, which is its own track on the CD that I also own, he is very well armed. But you're right. Other than that, he's virtually naked. He's a pro wrestler.
Well, yeah, and then in Destroyer, he goes through the whole movie without a shirt on.
Yeah. Now, the only other thing I want to go, well, and that's his moneymaker, let's be real. The only other thing I want to make sure that I touch upon that's a parallel here is this. Conan comes out in 82, his other movie's 84, and it really sets kind of a tone and a genre. Hulk Hogan becomes the world champion in 84. In 85, 86, he is fighting against individual guys.
Yeah.
But in 86, he starts fighting against the Heenan family, a collection of heels under one charismatic leader who they all do what he says, even though he's very smart and they're all very strong. And they all take their turns losing to him, but they'll often gang up on Hulk Hogan, who is only wearing trunks. All the rest of them are wearing, with the exception of one of them, are wearing some sort of leggings or a singlet. Because Andre wears a singlet and what's his face? King Kong Bundy wears a thing that makes him look like Shamu, a doublet, I guess. But you have this same thing, and Hulk Hogan comes out to the music, "I Am a Real American." So it's all very much what you're
Yeah.
talking about, that individualism against collective malaise, that Reaganism against the unions. It's all the things that you're talking about. Oh, and also the Soviet Union. Yeah. And Hogan had beaten up foreign people from 85 to 86. Those were most of the bad guys he fought. And then he starts fighting on the Heenan family for the most part. So another parallel. That's all in the ether at that time, and that's I guess where I'll leave it, because it's pro wrestling. So there you go.
Yeah.
So
cool.
yeah, thank you for
Very
this.
cool.
This was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. I had a lot of fun putting this together, doing all the research. So yeah, no, I've had fun doing it. So that leaves us with a question that we end on. What are you reading right now?
I picked up a copy of the National Geographic Atlas of the Roman World, and it's got 30 different maps of the Roman world inside. So I have just been cheesing over that. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
It's light reading, but it's fun reading. So that's what I'm
No,
reading.
that worked.
How about
Very
you? What are
cool.
you reading?
I am rereading Dune.
Ooh,
and for the podcast,
nice.
Because I'm still trying to find a biting angle to get into it for this. But I have noted how very florid Herbert's writing actually is, which I had forgotten about. His dialogue is straight out of Buck Rogers serial.
Oh,
Is this not a wondrous thing that I, the Baron Harkonnen, do? Is like that is the introduction line for the villain of the book.
Wow.
Like
that's when was Dune written?
I got to go back and take a look. 60s.
Okay, I was gonna say it's very Stan Lee.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of florid kind of arch kind of language. And I think I just found. Well, I might have just found my angle, but that's for another time.
But
so anyway, that's
is another story.
But that is another story.
All right. Well, for Geek History of Time, I'm Damian Harmony. You can find me at Harmony on the Twitter or at Harmony on the Insta. And you could even just type in my name on YouTube and find some of my comedy, including a performance that I did at the Apollo Temple in Syracuse. Who are you, and what are you going to say say goodbye?
My name is Ed Blaylock. You can find me at Blaylock on Twitter. You can also find me at Mr. Blaylock on the Instagram. And you can find the two of us together at Geek History Time on the Twitter machine. And until next time, for a Geek History of Time, keep rolling 20s.